Alright, we are live. So this is my first time doing a live podcast, so if I get any, viewers or listeners, yeah, wow. But I really wanted to go over a video I just watched on YouTube, almost 2 hours long. It was basically a discussion. Someone who's not very perceptive might call it an interview. But it was a discussion between Johnny Depp and Laurance Krouse. And these two are phenomenal together. Laurance Krouse really brings out the intricacies of the person that is Johnny Depp. And by watching this talk, I watched it on YouTube, by the way. If you just type in Johnny Depp, Laurance Krouse, don't use my spelling on Laurance Krause's last name. Type in his name first and it'll probably autocorrect you. But the point being that this talk really blew my mind a little bit. I mean, I knew Johnny Depp was intelligent. I really respected him for his work. But I've got to say, I am a fanboy now of Johnny Depp. And I know Johnny Depp would hate that term. He hates the stigma attached to it anyway. He made that pretty clear in this talk. But one sec while I sip my last beer of the night. It's actually 10:41. Yeah, 10:41 the clock says. But I work nights, so this is my night. Anyway, enough defending myself. This is supposed to be here to help you. I took a really powerful message away from this, and Johnny Depp is batshit crazy. And so am I. And that's kind of the key here, is that Johnny Depp kind of made me realize that madness, as he calls it, that madness is almost a necessity for being creative when you have madness. Now, I'm not saying you have to be mad to be creative or to be any good at it even. But what I am saying is, if you understand that you contain madness, if you understand that you are the outlier of outliers, that you don't fit in with the in crowd, but you're more extreme than the outliers, or just different, maybe not more extreme, just different than the outliers, and you don't really feel like you fit in with either one, that's because you don't. You are special. If you're a religious person, I guess just tell yourself that God put you here for that reason. Maybe that'll motivate you. I'm sorry if I sound condescending there. I'm an atheist, full-blooded atheist through and through. Have been my whole life. I used to call myself agnostic because I didn't truly understand what atheist meant. So yeah, I feel like if you need that, if you need to tell yourself, God gave me this gift, I have to do something with it, and that's what fucking drives you to success, do it. I don't care. I'm completely against religion. Religion as a concept, religion as an ideology, I'm completely against it. But I'm not against people who have religion. And I'm not against the fact that some people need that. Some people really do. They need it. They would probably shoot themselves or hang themselves without it. And to me, that's why religion is bad. But if that is what you need to keep going, then by all means, who am I to tell you any different? And even if I did, you shouldn't fucking listen, because that's faith, that's belief. You have to assume and have faith beyond fact, beyond a reasonable doubt. No matter what's presented to you, you have to still believe it. That's faith, that's believing. If you don't do that, you don't have true faith and you don't truly believe. You are a skeptic who has been misinformed. Let's get off this subject. I've explained it way too much, and we're not here to talk about religion. This podcast was meant to be a self-help kind of thing. Do I think it's going to help many people? I hope, but to be honest with myself, probably not, because many people probably won't won't get a chance to observe it. Now, on the other note of that, if I help one person start down the path to help themselves or to find something that can help them, awesome, I've succeeded. Even if that isn't the case and I just entertain people, then cool, I've succeeded on some other minor hobbyist level that I receive satisfaction from. But I'm not out for my satisfaction today. That's the whole reason I started the podcast. The YouTube is for my satisfaction, and hopefully I entertain people. The podcast, I really want to strive to commit myself to improving others rather than showing the improvement of myself to others. And I believe that if you watch this thing, I mean, if you have 2 hours to spare, it's a long video. I frequently watch videos this long because I get bored, and like I said, my night is during the day, and in the mornings is when my wife goes to school, my kids are gone, so this is my alone time. But Johnny Depp has became... Wow, I got way off topic from where I originally started. Johnny Depp has become much more of an icon to me after watching this than I would have ever thought possible. I loved his performances in so many movies. Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, Alice in Wonderland, the list goes on. Pirates of the Caribbean, of course. Who doesn't love Jack Sparrow? Edward Scissorhands. There's just so many great things that he's done in his career. I literally could not even name them all because there's a few I've missed and I haven't even seen. But I believe that Johnny Depp, not depth, was really trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do now with this talk. He was trying to explain his story in a way that helped other people understand something they might be going through. Well, my story is I really didn't have a bad childhood, especially as a young child. It was pretty great. I was fairly sheltered. I mean, I wouldn't call myself sheltered, so I had good parents, I guess, is how you would perceive that. But at the age of like 12 or 13, about the age Johnny Depp described this major change in his persona and how he identified, I really brought a lot of stress and unnecessary worry to myself at that age. Thinking about stuff I shouldn't have been thinking about. I probably cried myself to sleep for 3 days straight because I was thinking about... I realized. I wasn't thinking about it. I realized the thought that I think all humans come to eventually. The ones that don't are lucky, and I'm sorry if I bring it to you. But we're all going to die. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do to prevent it. And being an agnostic at the time, which is really just an atheist in denial, that's a completely simplified version, but it's true. I was afraid because when I died, I knew nothing would happen. I knew I would cease to exist, and that idea terrified me to no end. But within a few months, I came to grips with it and actually found peace in it and realized that why should I worry about that? It's going to happen, and I've already been in that state before I was born. So it can't be that bad. I was already not existing at one point, and soon I will not exist again. And this speck of consciousness that I have in between the two is all I have. And that made life so much more precious to me when I finally understood that. And I really did probably come to that full conclusion at about 13, maybe 14. I mean, somewhere at 13, I'm just going to go ahead and say. And so maybe a year later, I came to that conclusion after I had this great depression and sorrow about it. But the depression didn't stop. The anxiety didn't stop. I never had any anxiety attacks, but the anxiety led to depression. The anxiety attacks came when I was an adult, and I still battle with that same depression. Now, I'm not saying this depression came from the realization that I was going to die, because I'm almost certain it did not. But I believe the depression comes from not accepting the fact that I'm mad, and that's okay. And that's kind of the point I want to get across here. Like, it's okay to be mad if you realize it. If you realize you're mad, awesome. If you don't, as Johnny Depp said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm sure I won't quote it exact, what bliss, what fun that would be. You know? To have the ignorance of being mad and to be mad at the same time. Like, what bliss. And I think that the opposite of that idea is what has depressed me and what continues to stress me out to this day. That I know I'm mad. I know I'm not normal. I know I don't fit into hardly any categories as far as social normativity. And yet, deep down somewhere, I know I will be successful. I know I will achieve my goals because I want them bad enough. And I won't stop until I achieve them. So what I'm trying to say, the overarching point here is, for one, watch the Laurance, Krouse, Johnny Depp discussion. Fucking amazing. Secondly, just because you're mad and you understand you're mad, you're crazy, in other words, not mad as in angry, you really need to center yourself, at least occasionally. Way more healthy to do it on a regular basis. But at least occasionally, you need, which I haven't achieved yet, by the way, the regular basis. But you need to at least occasionally ground yourself and realize who you are and where you came from. And understand that that's you. And you have to accept that. Something I'm still struggling with. You have to accept that. So that that'll get out of your way, and the path to your goals will be wide open. Johnny Depp, I believe, literally this just clicked as I described it this way, that back to something he said in the chat, that it's kind of like hacking your way, bushwhacking, hacking a path in front of you, just clearing everything in your path so that you can follow it. And I honestly didn't understand that, 30 minutes ago when I heard him say it, until I described it in my own words and realized I was saying what he said in a different way. So the take home from this is, I hope this helps. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to have any answers. That would be dishonest of me. But, the tags, sure, I was dishonest with my tags in my description, maybe a little bit with the description. But, let's be honest here. It was to draw you in and to get you to listen, because I think that these random ramblings that I've had in this 7-beer stupor before I pass out and go to bed, get ready for the grind again tomorrow, I feel like maybe it'll help someone. And even if it doesn't, hopefully it'll entertain a few people. That's all I have for now, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I guess you can expect this to be a daily thing. I'm going to make that a goal. I'm going to set a reminder on my phone so that I don't forget. Fucking 15 minutes a day. I spend 2 hours a day either playing video games or watching videos on YouTube. It's time I do something like that with something I'm passionate about that's actually, hopefully, constructive. Until tomorrow, have a good day.